We all go into things with the best of intentions, but man, Booster Gold really f***ed this shit up. What's up, everybody? I'm Stan, and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. This is an iRate review, a show where I go over a comic book, its story, its art, give you my impressions, and let you know whether it's something you should go back to the comic book shop for or not. Make sure you subscribe to get more of these every single week. The book that I want to talk about right now is Batman number 46, which is still telling the Booster Gold point, the Flashpoint by Booster Gold storyline that was brought in by Tom King. And man, based on his DC Nation story as well as what's in this one, it's gonna be ridiculous. So let's jump in and see what this timeline has in store for us. In one of the biggest surprises in recent Batman history, we got the gift last issue in number 45, and number 46 steps it up one more notch. We actually go 1 year later into this alternate world where Bruce Wayne's family is alive and Gotham is on fire, and we open up on Arkham Asylum, which looks considerably nicer than it was in the previous iteration. And an explosion happens where we see Booster Gold breaking into the cell of Catwoman. And overall, it's a really great example of Tony Daniel's art. I mean, he just has a really good style for Catwoman, but Booster Gold is here, he's on a mission, and he has plans to try and save the world. And of course, Selina just agrees with a meow. Then we see the Waynes, Bruce and Thomas. They're standing atop the Wayne Tower as they look out and survey everything underneath their empire. And Thomas looks at this investment that he's made, all this money that he spent trying to save Gotham, and ultimately it's Cobblepot working with Ghoul. They're trying to take over the world. They're not going to be the bastion of hope and peace and prosperity that they were looking for. This is a war zone. It's meant for monsters to wage war in. There's blood on the streets. He is a failure because he has let Gotham fall, and as Gotham falls, he falls. As Thomas Wayne succumbs to what appears to be some sort of heart attack, immediately we flash back over to Booster Gold, who's currently with Selina Kyle's Catwoman, as they're standing around, and he's explaining everything about this alternate history, talking about the love affair between Ivy as she was trying to take over the world, talking about all these different things, and talking about how much Batman cares about Selina Kyle, how a key her relationship with him has been to both of them. This is where some things start getting unsettling, though. Selina just appears to be watching Booster Gold pace back and forth, not even responding. We've never heard her say anything more than a meow as she lays on this bed, indifferent as to what's going on. When Booster Gold looks at her and asks her about the plan, she just responds with a meow. And that's all she's really investing in this. She does not have any kind of look of comprehension on her face. We bounce over to Bruce, where he's praying inside the chapel in the hospital, praying for the safety of his father. He knows that he has everything, but he needs his father. He just wants his dad. Everything that he could give just to make it okay, and he beseeches God to do that for him. Of course, we see more Booster Gold. He's explaining all these kind of different things, and we see him reminisce. We see him reminisce about the Ted Cord, the Blue Beetle, one of his best friends. And, you know, the Ted could sew, but that leaves Booster Gold to sew. So he makes Catwoman's suit, and it's this kind of patchwork piece of leather that looks very reminiscent of Michelle Pfeiffer inside the Batman Returns movie. And this is a little bit more of an indication that she is not necessarily all together. The only thing that she's said so far is one word, one sound, and it's meow as she holds a mouse inside her hands. We bounce back over to the hospital where Jason Todd appears on the television screen, recently acquitted from any kind of charges regarding the lethal nature of his tire protection system that has electrocuted 17 different children over the course of the year. And Bruce and his mother Martha, they're just sitting there waiting for any kind of sign regarding the fate of Thomas Wayne. The doctor comes out and Martha demands to know exactly what it is. It's like, no, come with me. It's just like, I am a Wayne. I will not follow anybody. You will tell me now. She commands this kind of power that only a powerful and grieving woman can really relay. And Thomas is fine. Thomas is okay. He's going to survive. As Selina picks up a pack of cigarettes, we see gunshots ringing out across the daytime. We've got Batman leaping up onto the catwalk, trying to take out both Booster Gold and Catwoman. As they make their way out, they escape through the front door, and then Booster Gold is flying them across the sky. He's explaining exactly what's going on. Instead of, having this chance meeting on the rooftops, we should just go to the mansion. We should just go to Wayne Manor. That's what we should do. That's definitely the best idea. And again, Catwoman replies with simple meows. It's just this most unsettling thing inside my brain that is just like, why hasn't she responded with anything more than that? Where is the complexity? Where is any kind of dialogue that is coming from this person that is going to be playing such a critical role in Booster Gold's plan? How has he not noticed this at this point in time? Thomas is sitting there drinking tea, talking to Bruce, and while Thomas thinks that the world has drifted into madness, Bruce still thinks that he's happy. He's fine. He's still fine, and that's all that matters. Of course, Booster comes crashing in. We've got Catwoman, and she lunges at Alfred, slicing him across the throat with these cat claws, and Booster finally, that spark of realization hits in his eyes, where he decides, this This is not how I planned it. And Thomas says something really interesting. He's talking about how he closed the orphanage that Selina was in, how he stopped the experiments, how he paid for her cell inside Arkham, and yet Selina still looks at him with this murderous vengeance as she leaps on top of Thomas Wayne and just starts clawing him wildly, madly, like some sort of feral cat, like she had been, I don't know, her brain transposed, like something had happened that turned her into something well beyond what she should be. We see Batman that has followed him there. Dick Grayson shoots Selina Kyle through the gut. Booster Gold receives a smoke bomb like right to his face. Selina Kyle lying on the ground ready to be done in execution style as she lashes out one more time, cutting the fingers from Dick Grayson's hand. And we dip back into a very familiar Tom King style of storytelling. On the final page, we have 9 panels that tell this fast-paced cacophony of action where we see Selina Kyle lashing out at other people. We see Martha Wayne trying to get to Thomas. We see Dick Grayson picking up his pistol and shooting at Catwoman, ultimately missing, leaving Bruce Wayne to grab the other one and put a bullet into Dick Grayson's skull, leaving everyone dead, bleeding, and on the floor, except for maybe Booster Gold, delusional and well-worn inside this 1 year, outside of his own timeline, inside this fucked up parallel universe. He thinks that he won. He bets he won. He's a hero. That's exactly what he is. And that's where we're going to end issue number 46. This story is, oh my God, this story is such a departure from what we've seen inside Tom King's writing up until this point in time. It's like he was lulling us to sleep with these very sweet and savory pieces about Bruce and Selina, and ultimately just comes in and says, hey, what happens when one thing goes wrong? And Booster Gold is the man that fucks everything up and brings the Waynes down to their knees again. Not only was he responsible for the survival of the Waynes, now he's responsible ultimately for their demise and the devastation of an older Bruce Wayne that has hints and glimmers of what his past used to be. So I was really drawn into this story, and I can't wait to see where this next piece goes. I am so far into this that I can't help it. And Tony Daniel has done a great job with the character designs and really relaying a lot of this emotion inside this storyline. But I want to know what you guys think too, so hit me up in the comments down below and we can start this conversation. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to get more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books, comic book movies, comic book TV shows and games, and anything and everything inside the world of comics.